The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful lady from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. She's a spiritual coach, advisor, and public speaker. She's got a podcast out called Revelations Unmasked. She's got a new book called New Level, New You, and she also has a website called the Go-To Life Coach from Moms.com, and coaching moms and also empowering women. And when she does what she does best, she mastered the art of storytelling, making an impact on women. She's got great story to tell. Also helps women walk boldly, conquer fears, and basically just get rid of all self-doubt. And she can just tell you all about that and how to overcome the fears and more. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, the very inspirational and talented Samantha West. Samantha, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike, for having me. It is such a pleasure. I'm super excited to be on your show. Thank you so very much.
And we're excited to have you on as well, too, Samantha. So you got a great story to talk about. You're a spiritual coach, advisor, and a public speaker, and you got a podcast called Revelations Unmasked. You got a book out called New Level, New You, and you're basically master art of storytelling. You like to empower women, coach, and overcome fears, self-doubts, and everything else. You do a lot of workshops. You're very, very busy. It's just an excellent entrepreneur. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started.
Well, actually, I came about maybe, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago. I was asked the question of who am I? And I didn't know who I was. I just thought I was a mom of 2 and I worked a job, and someone really wanted to know, but who are you? And so because I didn't know, I went on discovery of myself and finding out who I really am. And in that process, I actually started telling my story because I've been through a lot. I used to face didn't have confidence in myself. I had self-doubts. I was always constantly checking other people to see if they wanted, how they approved my life, and just started sharing my story with others. And it was received so well that I found my calling in sharing my story and actually being able to help other moms be able to share their story and really just find themselves, find their confidence, and rediscover who they are. Because we as moms tend to lose ourselves so much behind our kids, our jobs, our business, and everything in between. And so my goal is really just to help moms grow in their confidence, grow in their overcome their fears and their self-doubts, and really just, rediscover who they are so they can truly walk in their greatness and their light. So That's how I got started. It was like I said, about 3 or 4 years ago when I started rediscovering myself.
And what are some of the fears and doubt that you had before you started overcoming them? Like, what are some of the few examples?
Well, I lacked confidence in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know who I was. I was doubtful about just moving forward in life. I didn't know which next steps to take. I was scared to actually walk in my own light, let alone teach someone else how to do it. So I didn't know who I was. I didn't have the security in myself of being able to be confident and step out on my own goals and dreams myself.
And what was that one precise moment that influenced you into doing what you're doing today? So what was that one moment that says, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? The very precise moment.
Well, actually, it was when I told my very first story. I went on live. I went to Facebook and Instagram, and I just started doing live. And I used to be engaged to a guy, and of course the engagement did not work out, but I stayed in the engagement because I had a nice ring on my finger, and I felt as though it was more for show. And once I came out of that, I realized exactly how much I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know my own value and worth. And I realized, and I told people that story, and so many people related. That's when I realized, like, this is a gift. This is a calling. Like, you need to be able to help other people overcome these same things. You can't you shouldn't rather stay in relationships or situations just because everything that glitters is definitely not gold. And so I realized then that, I have to help other people start believing in themselves. So I guess that was maybe earlier this year, probably around January, February this year, that I really stepped out and said, it's time.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's all based on some of the relationships, and also based on, like, say you've been in the workplace, you interacted with people, and also maybe just sharing online. So what do you say is some of the most common fears and doubts that women have, and what's probably the most difficult to overcome and takes a lot of work, but you can still get over that hurdle?
Some of the most common fears, I would say, would be just really believing in themselves. That's number one. Not knowing your own value and your worth. And I would definitely say, as a mom, being able to actually come from behind your kids and shine outside of your kids. Because again, we lose ourselves so much when it comes to our kids that we don't necessarily know how to be ourselves. We don't know who we are outside of them. And it's scary. It's scary trying to learn how to overcome those fears. It's scary how to learn how to be yourself. Who are you outside of your kids? And what was the second part of the question?
The second part of the question is, what is like the most difficult of the fears and doubts to overcome, and how do you overcome? What do you say is like the most difficult? We went over the more common ones, but probably the most difficult, like the most challenging.
I would say, actually, just recognizing your fear, because a lot of people don't necessarily acknowledge their fears. So being able to recognize them, acknowledge them, and face them head on, I think, is the most common aspect of fear. I think I answered your question.
Yeah, I think you got that part, and we'll talk about how to overcome the fears, how to overcome the self-doubts through your coaching. But first, you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the very talented entrepreneur Samantha West. She's a spiritual coach, advisor, and public speaker here on the Mike Wagner Show. She's got some ventures besides coaching and helping women overcome fears and doubts. She's also got a podcast called Revelation Unmasked, and also a new book called New Level, New You. And before we get to your coaching part and how to get women to overcome their fears, let's talk about your podcast called Revelations Unmasked, and tell us more about that and how'd you get started?
So my podcast was kind of dropped in my lap. The Revelations Unmasked, it's all about people coming from behind the mask. I feel everyone wears a mask and a facade. They put up, social media creates this fake picture of what the world should be. And we tend to walk around with masks on and hiding who we truly are. Behind the mask, people are hurting. And so the Revelations Unmasked, it's, revealing who you are, unmasking yourself. And the podcast was kind of dropped in my lap. I actually wanted to start out blogging, but I felt I had too much to say, and I wanted people to have a voice to be able to unmask themselves, to be able to really walk in their truth, their light, and their greatness. And so that's how the podcast was started. Just being able to create a platform for individuals to actually share their truth and be free. With no judgment, and just being able to really walk in who they truly are, unmasking themselves.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we're living in COVID times. We're not talking about the mask over your face, the required part. We're not talking about that. I just want to get a disclaimer out there. Just because you talk about Revelation Unmasked doesn't mean you can take off the mask you're wearing for COVID. But
No.
Well, it's a good thing you and I are talking right. Yeah, thank God you and I are talking right now. Otherwise, I have to talk with this mask and no one can hear what they say.
I'm grateful for the virtual environment, so we don't have to be like, "What did you say?"
Oh, exactly. It's just like Charlie Brown's teacher. And now you can figure out what the heck they're saying. I guess there's a comment about that.
Right. It's like blah, 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 blah.
Oh, exactly. And what are some of the topics covered in Revelations Unmasked?
Pretty much anything. It's kind of like a free ground, but we definitely talk about overcoming fears, overcoming doubts, and people's story. It's a platform truly for other people to share their story and how they have overcome their fears, their doubts, how they've grown in their confidence. And so because I know that someone relates to their story somewhere across the platform. So it's just truly a platform for other people to share their story of conquering life and insecurities.
That sounds amazing. We're all looking forward to checking out your podcast. Where can we find your podcast at?
It's actually on Spotify and iTunes. But disclaimer, I have a few updates that I need to make to it. So, but it's there. It just needs to be updated a little bit.
Okay, well, check that out as well, too. We're here with Samantha West, spiritual coach, advisor, and public speaker here on the Mike Wagner Show. You also have a book called New Level, New You, and tell us more about that book.
So the book is exactly that. Every new level requires a new you. And so it's all about growth, elevation, and just taking your life to the next level. every new level, literally, you have to become a new person. You have to let go of toxic people, toxic things that continue to keep you stuck and keep you stagnant in life. And so I really just wrote a book about a little more of my story of how I too have come out of toxic relationships and toxic situations and I was called to the next level and I had to become a new person in order to elevate on that next level. And so it's all about affirmations. It's just about letting negativity go, speaking positively over your life, growing, elevating, and just becoming a better person.
Mm-hmm. You talk about toxic relationships quite a few times. And what's a sign of that you're in a toxic relationship and how to get out?
Oh, I've been in quite a few, but a sign of a toxic relationship, I would say, is emotional baggage. When someone has emotional baggage, they don't want to talk about the past relationships, or they tend to place the blame on the other party. That's a sign. Get out. Another sign would be, how they may speak to you or about you. My last relationship, the guy kind of, just really talked down to me. And so, and I stayed for a while because I didn't grow up with a father, so I didn't necessarily know what real love was, so to speak. So I kind of figured different things brought love. And so I stayed for a while, but it wasn't getting any better. So, once you realize those signs, the red flags that we as women tend to ignore are the ones that really we should not ignore. And once we continue and it's continuous and it doesn't stop, then we need to definitely get out. So once you realize that, then you need to make an exit immediately.
And in other words, it's not you, it's me. End of story.
Right. Bye.
Exactly. And where can we find your book at?
So my book is an ebook, and you can actually download it it's seedandsoulmerchandise.com. That's SEED, the letter NSOW, seedandsoulmerchandise.com.
That is fantastic. And we'll talk about you being a spiritual coach, advisor, public speaker, and your other website and more. But first, to listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, spiritual coach, advisor, and public speaker and author Samantha West here on The Mike Wagner Show. And let's talk about you being a spiritual coach, advisor, public speaker, and of course, you also do some counseling as well, too. And first of all, let's talk about you being a spiritual coach and how you got started and how you can help moms along the way, overcoming self-doubts like with your coaching.
So it's the same. My story of actually trying to find myself. When I started trying to find myself, someone asked me the question of who I am. I started really just finding myself. And as I dove deeper into me, I started growing more, of course, in God, and started growing more, of course, on a spiritual level. And so my goal is to guide moms and women. I don't just have mom clients, and women as well from a spiritual level, because I truly believe without God, you're nothing. Like, I truly believe that He should be the center of absolutely everything that you do. And so my coaching is center-based, God-based. It's faith-based. And, that's my goal, really, to help people really draw closer to God and really walk in their light of who God has truly called them to be.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been doing this for now again?
Just shy of a year. So maybe about 8-9 months. Yeah.
Okay. And how can people reach out to you to get some spiritual advice, coaching, and everything else? How do they reach out to you?
So my website is thegotomoms.com, and that is thegotomoms.com. And you can also find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is I am Samantha J. West, and also on Facebook at Samantha J. West. On Facebook as well.
That is very fantastic. And of course, just a couple more things here with Samantha West here on the Mike Wagner Show. What can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Samantha?
Well, big things. I plan to actually, prayerfully, COVID will be over and I will be able to do more events live. But if not, I plan to have several virtual events expanding my empire and expanding my reach for more women. And I want to start traveling more and having more speaking opportunities in different countries, in different states, actually. So I am putting together things now to build my speaking reel and to build me up as a person so that I can definitely start applying and having more speaking engagements booked on my calendar. But I also have a group coaching program now, and I plan for it to be much bigger by, let's say, January, February next year. I want to have at least 200 people.
That sounds great. And are you doing one-on-one virtual coaching right now at this time?
Actually, yes, I am. So I do the one-on-one coaching and I also do the group coaching. So, and you can find me either way. If you go to the go-to life coach for moms, you can schedule an appointment for either one.
That sounds very good. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Les Brown. I absolutely love Les Brown. He is a phenomenal motivational speaker. He is a phenomenal being. I have a goal to meet him one day. So I am prayerful that he hears this interview and he wants to actually meet me, but he is definitely a huge influence. I love the way he shares his story. He shares his life. I love his zest for what he does and his energy. I watch his speeches like from years ago until now. I listen to him constantly. So he is a huge influence for me.
That is fantastic. He's also one of my favorites as well. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Just do it. Believe in yourself now and just do it. Just step out of your fear, step over those fears and just do it. The best way you will ever overcome your fears is to really just face them head on, and you'll see on the other side of your fear, it's nothing but greatness. Everything that awaits you in life is outside of your fears and your comfort zone. So just do it and do the work. Do the work. Success requires work. Overcoming fears requires work. Growth requires work. Just do the work and believe in yourself. You got this.
That is well said. Well said. Some people tend to forget, but that is well said. Once again, Samantha West, spiritual coach, advisor, and public speaker here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people check out your books and your podcasts and your services?
All right. So upcoming projects, I do have my group coaching now, as well as my one-on-one coaching available. You can definitely go to my website, the go-to life coach for moms, to book a free rediscovery call, and we can definitely talk. And then also my book, New Level, New You, is available on the Seed and Sow merchandise seedandsoulmerchandise.com website, which is again SEED, the letter N, SOW, seedandsoulmerchandise.com. You can find me on Instagram at I am Samantha J. West, as well as on Facebook at Samantha J. West. And my podcast is Revelations Unmasked. It is available on Spotify as well as Apple iTunes as well.
That sounds fantastic. Once again, Samantha, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on 2021 and beyond, and just keep in touch. You've been fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.